Hey guys, it's me, Antoine. I'm excited to be with you today. Guys, I'm always bringing my friends on. I have a lot of friends, right, who write books. But guys, today I have a very special guest. My guest today is not just my friend, he's my mentor. He helped me get started as an author. Guys, I have the one and only Rick Daniels in studio today, guys. So I'm excited. He has a lot of wonderful books. You're going to hear about him, mention a few of his books outside of the one he's going to read today. But guys, Rick is here. You're going to love him, guys. You are absolutely going to love him. So, guys, my mentor, my friend, the one and only Rick Daniels. Take it away, Rick.
Antonio, thank you very much for having me on this morning. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I'm glad to support you in your program with PG County Public Libraries. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I started writing in 2014, and here we go now. You guys ready? Okay. As you can see, I have a bunch of my friends behind me. They wanted to be in on this video today, and most of my books are about my friends behind me. I've written a total of about 80 books that include all my buddies behind me. Saby, I've had Saby for 33 years, the new Saby, Lucky, Ike and Mike, and the rest of the guys. See if you can see them. There they are. Okay, anytime you guys are ready, I'm ready to read. And we're going to read my newest book, Noah and Saby's Magical Storybook Adventure. And it's about a little boy that has cancer. And if you didn't know, September is officially Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So that's very important to me because I understand the fight that children go through with cancer because I have a rare cancer called polycythemia vera. And that's what inspired me to write Noah and Saby's Magical Storybook Adventure. All of my friends have books, but Saby didn't have a book, and I've had him for 33 years. So he asked me one day, he says, Rick, when do I get my book? I said, all right, I'm going to come up with a book specially for you. And the book involves John Hopkins Children's Hospital and Six Flags. And I'll tell you more about the book. We have a slideshow for you. And this is actually the book, which you can buy on my website and Amazon. We have it both Kindle version, ebooks, and we have hard copy and soft cover books. And if you'd like to know a little bit more about how I got started, things first started with me with these two guys here, Ike and Mike. Ike and Mike, they sit on the back of my sofa, as you can see, and they have several books. This book, they toured DC. This book, they take the Red Line train, and it teaches kids how to count. The first book teaches kids, the first one, where'd it go? The first one teaches kids how to sound out letters and how to spell. This book teaches them how to count. And the latest Ike and Mike book is they go shopping at giant fruit stores and they learn to pick different fruit. They have to pick the right color. And they have to, if they're old enough, we ask them to spell. For instance, if they get to a page where there are bananas, we ask them to point which color are the bananas. And if they're old enough, we ask them to spell bananas and sound out the letters. And in the other book, the Ike and Mike book, if you notice, they're taking the Red Line train. And I actually live right here in this building, right here. And they're going to Chinatown. And they're looking for a place called Lucky Strikes. They take the Red Line train. They get off at Chinatown. And they find Lucky Strikes. And this book teaches kids how to count by throwing a bowling ball. And after a long day of bowling, they decide they want to get something to eat. And they go to Caroline's Kitchen to eat. And in the other Ike and Mike book, the first one, this is the very first one, they go to I used to live on Jefferson Street, and they go to 8th and Jefferson, and they take the E4 bus, get off at Georgia and Kennedy, and they take the 79 bus. And this book teaches kids how to sound words. For instance, we'll ask a kid, what sound does a pig make? Of course, they'll go oink, oink. And if they're old enough, we ask them to spell pig and sound out the letters. And after a long day of visiting memorials, they go to Ben's Chili Bowl to eat. So all my books are locally written, and they're popular because parents recognize the transportation that they take, the restaurants that they eat in. And then, of course, it all started with Little Remy. And Little Remy, and the reason I wrote Little Remy, he's about a little boy that gets bullied in school because he can't read and write. I had a learning disability, and the kids at Little Remy school, they tease him, well, they bully him because he can't read and write. When I was a kid, we didn't use the word bullying. They teased and made fun of me because I couldn't read and write. And these two books, Little Remy, this is when he finds out from his mom that he's being bullied. This one he teaches kids to show love and kindness. The one thing about my bullying books, when we go to schools and we do a presentation, every kid gets an anti-bullying certificate. They get a coloring book they can color in. They get a wristband that says no bullying, please. They get stickers, and every kid gets an anti-bullying pencil. Okay, so now you guys know a little something about me, how it all gets started. Anytime you guys are ready, I'm ready to read Noah and Saby's Magical Storybook Adventure. Waiting for the slideshow. Okay. Well, I guess I can get started. As I mentioned before, this is my newest book, Noah and Saby's Magical Storybook Adventure. And as I mentioned before, this is the old Saby, given to me as a gift from my girlfriend. See him over here? Okay, here's the slideshow. Okay. That's me and Saby. The first picture on the left is when I got him as a Christmas present in 1986. And the other pictures, Saby and I in 2018. Okay. In a city in the state of Maryland lives a little boy named Noah. Noah loves going to school and playing with his friends. One day, Noah goes to the hospital for his yearly physical exam, and he is diagnosed with cancer. Noah now spends most days and night at the Johns Hopkins Sidney Kimball Cancer Center, where he is being treated for childhood cancer. It's a beautiful summer day. Noah is sitting in his bed waiting for his breakfast when a hospital volunteer enters his room. She says, "Good morning, Noah." And Noah says, "Good morning to you." She then asks Noah, "Would you like one of these cuddly stuffed animals I have on my cot?" Noah's eyes light up with excitement. He looks them all over and says, "I want the lion cub." The volunteer asks, "What are you going to call him?" Noah says, "I'm going to call him Saby." She says, "Good choice." As she hands Noah his new friend, she watches the joy on Noah's face. The volunteer tells Noah, "Enjoy your new friend," and leaves his room. As Noah is playing with Saby, Saby starts to talk. Noah stuttered, you can talk. How did you do that?" Saby says, "It's magic." Saby asks Noah, "What would you like to do today?" Noah says, "I would like to go to Six Flags America." Saby tells Noah, "All you have to do is hold me tight, close your eyes, and think happy thoughts." When Noah opens his eyes, he and Saby are at Six Flags America. The two are having so much fun. They ride on the Wild One, Roar, and Firebird. After a long day of having so much fun, Saby tells Noah it's getting late and we should leave now. Noah asks Saby, how do we get back to the hospital? Saby says, hold me tight, close your eyes, and count 1, 2, 3. When Noah opens his eyes, he and Saby are back in his hospital bed. The next day, Noah's mom and dad come to visit him. He tells them, this is my new friend Saby. Yesterday we went to Six Flags America and we had so much fun. We rode on Roar, the Wild One, Firebird, and so many more. Noah's mom and dad look at each other and say, yes, Noah, sure you did. No, 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 it's true. Saby has magical powers and he can talk. Noah's parents say, sure, Noah. After a long visit, his mom and dad tell him, we have to leave now, but we'll be back tomorrow. Noah is already asleep by the time they leave. The next day, Noah is in his bed with his mom and dad by his side. Noah is still asleep. The volunteer entered Noah's room. She tells him, Noah, wake up. Wake up, Noah. Noah stutters, but Saby didn't wake up. She tells Noah, Saby put his magic in you so you could always think happy thoughts. The volunteer then tells Noah, Saby will always be with you. Remember the secret. Hold them tight, close your eyes, and think happy thoughts. Noah stuttered, but how did you know the secret? She tells Noah, it's magic. Remember, always think happy thoughts. The end. Hope you guys enjoyed my new book.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I'm sure you know, guys. Rick is my mentor. Like I said, I read so many of his books, so I really enjoyed it. And again, I hope you did. I'm sure you did. I'm not sure if you did as much as I did, but I'm sure that you will enjoy the book. And Rick, thank you again for being on the show. I really appreciate it, because it's always a pleasure to be around you. With us to share the same stage today is definitely an honor for me as your mentee and friend. So thanks again for being on here. And Rick, my first question: when did you know that you wanted to become an author?
Actually, I did know. Remember, I have a learning disability, so I struggle with reading and writing. But there are, when I lived on Jefferson Street, there are a bunch of daycares, and little kids would walk up the block, and every morning I would read them a book. And one day said, Mr. Rick, read us a book. And I ran out of books. And they said, tell us a story. And that's when I started making up stories about Ike, Mike, and Lucky. And then one day I realized I've told those guys about 25 stories and I put it on paper. When I wrote the bullying book, this was actually these guys came out in about 2016. But I actually wrote Little Remy in 2012. And it's because I had problems with my family and I got bullied. So I didn't want to write about my family bullying me. I wanted to reach out so I could help kids. And that's when I wrote the first Little Remy 1 and Little Remy 2. It was in 2012.
And Rick, I know you gave me some autographed copies of those books. I still have them in my author's collection. And guys, like I said, you'll hear more about those at the end, where Rick will tell you, where you can get his books and things like that. But Rick, as I mentioned to the people, to our viewers today, that you were my mentor. Did you have any mentors along the way to help you or guide you through the process?
Unfortunately, I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have anyone to guide me through the process. But as you know, Antonio, I've been in business since I was 18 years old. Because I did struggle with reading and writing, it was hard for me to hold down a regular job. So my mind became very creative. And I started a fashion company in 1968. So my skills rolled over from fashion to writing. So it was easy for me to just fall right into place, but I didn't have any mentors at all.
And Rick, what inspired you to create this whole, like all these different book series? Like, what was the true inspiration behind it?
I guess the kids, well, the bullying books, because I got bullied, and I understand kids that are getting bullied today. So actually, Little Remy is a 12 series book, but 10 series book. We only have two out now. The book about my friends here, the idea came from the little kids that I used to read to from the local daycares. And little did I know, once you get to writing, if that's your niche, you just can't stop. And that's the same thing with me. I just finished another book last week, and I have another one in my mind. So they just pop out. They just come out all the time.
Yeah, I know you are working on books a lot. And at this moment, are you working on any new books for any of those series right now?
Nope, just the one that I read to you. Uh, and because of the coronavirus, we have a bunch of the new Sabbies. And well, that's the one thing I didn't tell you. But this book here, of course, we sell all of our books, but all the proceeds from this book will go to childhood cancer research. So when we start selling the books, we'll be selling them online. But once we're out selling them in public again, when a person buys the book, they can actually buy the Lion Cub too, or they can just donate, and all that money goes to childhood cancer research. And we'll start locally with John Hopkins since they're our biggest sponsor. Eventually, we'll donate money to Children's Hospital and some of the other hospitals. All depends on how fast we grow. This is our first year doing a book on childhood cancer. And remember, most of my books are because of my disability, learning disability, and my cancer. So I focus everything that I write around those areas.
And Rick, you are quite the inspiration. So I'm sure the kids who get the books, I definitely appreciate the families, the community, like I said, rallies around you because they see what you're doing is for a good cause.
Yes.
So, like, I just want to personally just thank you for doing this and bringing more awareness to, childhood cancer and things like that, because it means a lot to the families, because I watch the cartoons and I watch the commercials and I see those things, but to see someone in the community who's actively promoting it and putting those things into books and having the characters for kids, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. So thank you for that. I really do appreciate that, what you're doing.
Okay.
And also, I wanted to ask you, what is the message that you want the viewers, the readers, to get from your books?
Well, from my bullying books, that bullying hurts people. Bullying is more devastating than a lot of people realize. Kids today, they handle anger differently than when I was a kid. And I want to talk about some of the things they do, but we're trying to make people aware how serious bullying is, uh, how serious learning disabilities are. And now we're focusing on cancer. And we, like I said, we have a lot of partners. So we're trying to get the message out that childhood cancer, you hear about breast cancer and all these other cancers, but childhood cancer is just as important. And so that's why we decided to focus on that because I write children's books. I couldn't write about breast cancer. I write children's books. So we wanted to write about childhood cancer.
Excellent, excellent. Um, and also, Rick, I wanted to ask you, have you ever been recognized in public? Like, once, you're walking down the street somewhere, or maybe you're out of town and say, hey, I know you. You're Rick Daniels. You write, those Ike and Mike books. Or have you ever had anyone,
Yes.
do that to you in public?
Yep. It makes you feel like a local celebrity when people stop you on the street and they say, I have your books. Or when we're out selling books and people will stop and say, oh, I already bought your books. I have your books. My children loves your book. That's a great feeling right there when people tell you, we have your books and we love them. That great feeling.
Oh, absolutely. I'm with you. The emotion that you see in a parent's face and say, "Oh my gosh, our child really loves your books." Or if the child is with them, like, "Hey, hey, Mr. Antoine, I really enjoyed your book. Do you have
Yes.
any more books coming out? So I'm with you on that. It's a
Yep.
great feeling to know that what you write is making a difference. Like there's no better feeling than that. It doesn't get any better than that.
That's
So
true. And even though we're local right now, you and uh, I mean, we have the world to conquer, and we can both do it because we both have very exciting books.
oh, absolutely. And Rick, like I said, to have the honor to be behind the scenes with you and have the opportunity to see how you come up with your, creative process and to read the books, like it's a big deal. I'm always able to learn something from you, like, man, how did Rick do that? Or how did he put that together? So it's good to see how other authors think, right? How they create and weave their storyline and their plot, what realistic elements they bring together. So it's definitely an adventure. Like writing it's just an amazing thing. Like when I get into I call it my zone, like my mind just goes to another place, you know? Like all the creativity just comes from another realm, strikes my brain, and I'm just able to just get it out, through pen and paper. So
Yep.
for any uh prospective writers out there, authors out there, like I've said on previous episodes, you have power in your pen. If you have any creative juices flowing, just let it go. Just get it out on pencil and paper or pen and paper on a notebook or tablet or iPad, whatever you may use. Just get those thoughts out of your mind and on the paper, and it will become realistic before you know it.
True, very true. I'm so happy that I was able to inspire you and give you ideas. You see my whole operation from where we produce everything to where we sell. So I'm just so glad that I'm able to inspire you and Antonio. That really makes me feel good.
And guys, I'm gonna give you a quick story to how I met Rick. So I saw Rick selling his books, and I'm like, man. So I went up to him and asked him like, how did you do this? How did you do that? And he gave me his contact information. He said, hey, if you need any help, reach out to me. So I was writing my first book, guys, and I waited about 2 or 3 months to reach back out to Rick. I'm like, I don't know what he's going to say. I don't know if he's going to like my book or I don't know. I just was afraid, right? Because it was something that was so dear to me. This is my first book, but I asked him if I could email it and if he could read it, and he enjoyed it. And in that moment, I felt a lot of relief because I'm like, okay, he liked it. And then from that day on, he showed me the ropes and told me a lot of different things to do. So, guys, anyone who is out there interested in writing books, always make sure you have a mentor. You always want to have a fresh set of eyes to help you, especially when your ideas are, you're formulating your ideas and the creativity is flowing. Always have a fresh set of eyes to go along with it as well, because it makes a big difference.
Yes.
It really does. So, also, Rick, I wanted to ask you, um, as a child, who were some of your favorite authors?
Um, Remember, I didn't do a lot of reading. I didn't read comic books and things like that, but I did read Call of the Wild. I can't even think of who it's by now, but Call of the Wild. And it's still my favorite book today. Although I watched the movie, I really don't read the book. It's just too long for me. But that's the only book I ever read was Call of the Wild and maybe one or two others because I struggled with reading it. Right, it took me 2 years to read Harry Potter. So yeah,
Well, how about this instead, Rick? So, who are some of your authors now? Like, as an author yourself, who is it that maybe some other authors who give you inspiration, or you read their books from time to time?
it's funny you mentioned that because I don't have any children books authors, but Stephen King because I love all his movies, which were books first. And another person that I like, what is his name? He produces SVU on New York, SVU with Ice T and Olivia on that show. Then he also produces, this is all on NBC, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. And what happened with that was he does crossovers where something will happen in New York with SUV and the perp will run to Chicago. Then Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD is involved. And that's when I got the idea, you know what? I got to make a lot of my books into continuations. And just like with the Noah and Saby book, it's going to reach so many hospitals, and it'll probably, who knows how far that's going to go. Because with John Hopkins alone, there are probably about 84 hospitals that they're affiliated with. So, and I'm sorry I can't think of his name right now. But if anyone knows SUV or Chicago Med Fire, Chicago PD, you know what I'm talking about.
Right. And I'm with you, Rick, on that as far as the crossovers and the continuations. You want your books to live, for many years, right? For many
Oh yes.
generations to be able to get the content. So I'm with you on that. And
Yep.
I know earlier you had mentioned um, traveling and reading your books in places. How was your experience when you had the opportunity to go to school or libraries to read your books?
Oh, we loved it. Before the coronavirus, schools were booking us, and we would come in and we would read to the kids. And as I mentioned before, every kid would get a coloring book. When we were reading the bullying books, every kid got a coloring book, the certificate, the wristbands, the pencils. We gave away so many books and so many gifts, as you know, because we came to your school. And just giving the gifts and seeing the joy on their faces, and it's a feeling I can't even express how exciting it is. And the one thing I like more than anything else is after the presentation, all the kids want to come up and give me high fives and hugs, and they want me to autograph their coloring books. It's an amazing feeling that's just priceless. You just can't put a price on something that's that rewarding to you.
Oh, Rick, I agree. Like I said, the time you came to our school, it was great, having you there, the kids, every grade level, they really enjoyed you. And Rick, my favorite part, of course, I love all of them when you come, the setup and the reading. But the thing that stuck out to me was the bully pledge that you created.
Oh yeah.
And those kids, they are quick to sign it and agree to it that they that they won't bully, and they hold on to it. And they, occasionally they'll just bring it out randomly during the school year. So that was really good.
You
That
know,
that
we,
it stayed with them.
we had one teacher, and she put everybody's bullying certificate on the wall. And when the kid would act up, she would take his certificate off the wall. And because the kid didn't want to be left out, he would straighten out. She put his certificate right back on the wall. I thought that was an amazing process that she did with that.
Oh, yeah, teachers, we are creative. I
Yep.
can say that. But Rick, I'm with you. Like going to schools is such an amazing feeling. The first time I had the opportunity to really travel out, I went to middle school in the area, and I said, you know what? I'm going to stay the whole day. I stayed the whole day. And it was an amazing experience to speak to all the students in their writing classes from sixth grade to eighth grade, and I stayed after school for their writing club. It was an amazing feeling to be there, just to be surrounded by all the talent in the room, those young aspiring writers. For them to ask me questions, and like I said, I felt like a celebrity because I had an opportunity to autograph about maybe 30 books or so.
Your, your
So that
hand gets
was,
tired after a while.
yeah, I was like, wow, because I'm detailing my message. Oh, have a great year, or you're so smart. And so I'm just like going into detail with every autograph. So it was a big deal. So I'm with you on that. I'm looking forward to going back to schools to visit our, students once everything, gets back to normal.
Yes.
And outside of your work as an author, Rick, what do you do to enjoy yourself?
Um, I watch a lot of TV. I listen to a lot of music, and I never have time to do anything but write. I'm constantly just making notes of things. I'll think about something, especially around water. If I'm in the shower, I'll come up with an idea. Believe it or not, I have a pad outside, and I'll stick my hand. That pad is soaking wet, but I have to keep replacing it. And I'll reach out and I'll put a note down, and then later I'll take that theme and I'll come up with an idea and I'll put a book together.
All right. So yeah, when the water's around, the ideas flow.
Yeah.
And lastly, Rick, is there any advice that you would have for any aspiring writers? And let us know also how where they can get your books as well.
Yeah, of course. Never give up on your dreams, first of all. And if anyone has any questions, you can certainly reach out to me. I freely give up information on how to become a successful author. And you can also purchase my books all on my website. All you have to do is go to friendsofrickdaniels.org. If you go to that website, we have a page where all my books are listed there, and you can buy either the ebooks or you can buy the other books. And when you order a book, let me know who it's going to so I can autograph it before I mail it to you. And just remember, friendsofrickdaniels.org.
Rick, thank you so much for coming on today's show. Like I said, it was definitely an honor having you here. I'm sure all the viewers enjoyed you. And guys, I just want to thank you for spending your time with us. I love when you come in and listen to our authors. It makes me feel so good. And of course, I have to thank the Prince George's County Memorial Library system for giving authors a place to shine. So, guys, this is the end of our episode. Again, thank you for being with us. And Rick, thank you again for being with us. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. And we'll see you again on the next episode of Antoine and Friends.
Thank you,
Bye,
Antoine.
guys.
Thank you, Prince George's County. Okay.